Have you ever had that moment where you check your bank account on payday and you're like, okay, we're back, we're live, we're financially responsible again? And then, like clockwork, the bills hit. Rent or mortgage, car payment, insurance, subscriptions you forgot you had, a couple small Target runs, two Uber Eats orders because you were too tired. And suddenly, it's 5 days later and you're staring at your balance like, wait, where did my money go? Because here's the thing, most people think they're broke because they don't make enough. Look, sometimes income is the problem, absolutely. But for a huge number of people who consider themselves middle class, the real issue is a trap, one that quietly eats about $7,300 a year without feeling like $7,300. That's $608 a month. That's $20 a day. And if you've been wondering why you can't get ahead even though you're doing everything right, this video might sting a little, in a good way. My name is Buffet, and I spend way too much time thinking about why normal people who earn decent money still feel broke. If you're someone who makes okay money but can't build savings, can't kill debt, and keeps getting pulled back to zero every month, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. And today, I'm going to show you what the $7,300 trap actually is with a super realistic example, the math that makes it so dangerous, the psychology that makes smart people fall for it, and most importantly, how to escape it starting this week. Let's challenge a really common belief right now. People love to say, it's the latte factor, stop buying coffee. No, that's not the villain. The villain is what I call monthly payment thinking. It's when your brain measures affordability by asking, can I fit this into my month? Instead of asking, is this making me wealthier or keeping me employed forever? Because the middle class trap isn't one giant stupid purchase, it's a system where your lifestyle quietly upgrades faster than your wealth, and it usually shows up in three categories: transportation justified upgrades, convenience spending that feels like life, and interest and financial leakage. You don't buy a ridiculous car, you buy a reasonable car that just happens to be newer than you needed, and the market is basically engineered to make this feel normal. Lately, average new and used car payments have been high, and long loan terms have become common, which means people aren't always buying too much car by sticker price. They're buying it by stretching time. Then you've got convenience spending, food delivery, quick restaurants, random spending because you're tired, stressed, busy, and the app makes it easy. And if you're thinking, it's not that much, that's exactly how it works. Each decision is small, so it never feels like a problem. And finally, interest and fees. Credit card interest, late fees, I'll deal with it later money, because later always comes with a price tag. The scary part is how fragile this makes people. A lot of adults still struggle to cover even a relatively small emergency in cash, which tells you that living on thin margin is not rare, it's normal. Let me tell you a quick story. Meet Chris. Not a real person, but also absolutely a real person. Chris makes $72,000 a year. Not rich, not broke. Middle class-ish. Chris is doing what society calls responsible, pays bills on time, has a car, goes out to eat sometimes, tries to save when there's extra, but Chris is stuck. So, where's the $7,300? It's in what I call the trap stack. First is the car upgrade delta. Maybe Chris had a paid-off car or a lower payment and then upgraded. Not to a Ferrari, just to something newer, safer, nicer. And this is where people get fooled, because they only see the payment, not the all-in cost of owning and operating a vehicle. Insurance, depreciation, fuel, maintenance, repairs, all of it. Second is convenience food creep. A couple deliveries a week, lunches out, random coffees, small treats. Nothing dramatic, just constant. Third is subscriptions and random leakage. Streaming, apps, memberships, free trials that turn into paid, a phone plan that's a little too expensive, and finally, interest and fees. Credit card interest, late fees, I'll deal with it later money, because later always comes with a price tag. Add it up, $300 here, $180 there, $65 there, plus interest, and boom, you're at about $7,300 a year. And here's what most people don't realize. The trap isn't only that $7,300 leaves your life, the trap is what $7,300 could have become. Let's do the part nobody wants to do, compounding. If you take $7,300 per year, that's $608 a month, and instead of feeding it to lifestyle creep, you invested, let's use an example return of 8% a year over 30 years. Not guaranteed, just a math example. That turns into roughly $827,000. Let me say that again. The middle class forever tax could cost you around $827,000 over 30 years. And if returns were closer to 10% over a long stretch, you're looking at around $1.2 million. This is where it gets really interesting because people will grind for years trying to find a side hustle that makes an extra $400 a month, but they won't look at the $608 a month that's quietly bleeding out of their lifestyle. And the truly brutal part is that it doesn't feel like losing $827,000. It feels like it's just a delivery fee, or it's just $80 more per month for the nicer trim, or it's just a subscription. But wealth doesn't come from one heroic moment. Wealth comes from keeping small amounts of money in your life long enough to compound. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Buffet, I get the math, but why is it so hard to stop? Because your brain is not built for spreadsheets. Your brain is built for survival, comfort, and social belonging. One huge driver is monthly payment blindness. You don't evaluate the total cost, you evaluate the monthly. That's why longer car loans feel normal, because they transform an unaffordable purchase into a manageable payment. And once you start shopping by the month, you stop asking how much is the car and start asking how much is the month, which is exactly what keeps you in the trap. Another driver is present bias. Future you is always a superhero in your head. Future you will meal prep, refinance, stop using delivery apps, stop impulse buying. But present you is tired and hungry and wants the problem to disappear right then. Another driver is status and identity. Nobody says, I want to impress strangers, but they say things like, I just want something reliable, or I work hard, I deserve it, or I don't want to feel behind. Those feelings are real, but marketing is designed to attach those feelings to a monthly payment. And convenience is its own trap, because spending used to have friction. You had to drive somewhere, wait, and pay. Now it's a button, and when you remove friction, spending goes up, even for disciplined people, because you're not deciding anymore, you're reacting. Let's hit the objections. Objection 1, but I need a reliable car. Totally fair, but reliable is not the same as new, and new is not the same as affordable. The real question is, can your life handle an expensive transportation lifestyle plus saving for emergencies plus investing for retirement? If yes, great. If no, you don't have a car problem, you have a margin problem. Objection 2, but investing isn't guaranteed. Correct, but here's what is basically guaranteed. If you lock yourself into payments you can barely afford, your future options shrink. And if you carry credit card debt at high interest rates, the math is working against you every day. So even if investing feels uncertain, high interest consumer debt is a near guaranteed wealth destroyer. Objection 3, this is just blaming people for enjoying life. No, I'm not saying never eat out. I'm saying stop paying the forever middle class tax for things you don't even enjoy that much. Most trap spending isn't joy spending, it's stress spending. And if you redirect it, you're not becoming miserable, you're buying freedom. So, how do you escape the $7,300 trap? Here's the plan: practical, boring, effective. Step 1 is the 15-minute audit. Open your banking app and look at the last 30 days and total of just 3 categories: restaurants and delivery, car-related costs, and subscriptions plus interest and fees. Don't judge it, just measure it, because what you measure, you can change. Step 2 is to kill one big payment, not fight 12 tiny battles. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't escape the trap by trying harder. You escape it by reducing the number of things you must pay before you can breathe. Pick one: a car payment strategy, a housing strategy, or a debt strategy. The point is to create margin. Step 3 is to set up an anti-trap system with 3 accounts: a bills account where fixed expenses auto-pay, a spending account with a weekly allowance for life, and a freedom account for savings, investing, and debt payoff. You're separating money so your brain stops accidentally spending the investing money. Step 4 is to replace convenience with the default, not willpower. Set a simple rule: 4 nights home food, 2 nights eat out planned, 1 night wild card. This isn't a diet, it's a budget. If you don't choose a default, the apps choose for you. Step 5 is the 48-hour raise rule. Anytime you get a raise, within 48 hours, you increase your retirement contribution, increase your emergency fund transfer, or increase debt payoff. Because if you don't assign the raise, lifestyle creep will. Step 6 is the 2-day rule for purchases. If it's not urgent, wait 2 days. Not to punish yourself, but to let the impulsive part of your brain calm down. Step 7 is to build a real emergency buffer so you stop paying the panic tax. Start with $1,000, then 1 month of expenses, then 3 months. That buffer is what prevents the "I had to put it on a card" cycle. And once you stop financing emergencies, you stop paying the invisible tax. And here's the biggest surprise. The $7,300 trap isn't just about money, it's about identity. Because once you escape it, something wild happens. You stop needing your paycheck to arrive to feel okay. You stop panicking when your car makes noise. You stop feeling trapped at a job you hate. You stop treating Friday like a rescue mission. You start making decisions from strength instead of stress. That's how people quietly cross the line from middle class forever to financially free enough, not because they became millionaires overnight, but because they stopped bleeding.